All right, it's time for the February book haul. Better late than never. First up, we made a quick stop to the antique mall. It's not the best place to find books, but every once in a while I do find something. All right, so first up, we got this Dell mapback. The rat began to gnaw the rope. Old Dell mystery. It's about a lawyer who looks into a woman's stock inheritance and is surprised to find that there's someone trying to kill him, along with he stumbles upon multiple murders in the past. I started reading this, but then I just wasn't in the mood for it at the moment. It's a mapback, a Dell mapback. They did the mapbacks from, I think, 1942 to 51. And it was created by a woman named Ruth O'Neill. And she was the artist for a lot of them. So that was pretty interesting. I also got this 1954 signet of George Simenon Bell. So this is kind of a noirish plot where a woman is murdered and it's in this guy's house, and the cops are grilling him, and he's kind of got to figure it out what happened to her. Up next, we went to Dark Star in Yellow Springs. It's a bookstore that's been around forever. They have a really good selection of collectible vintage books and comics. And then they also have newer independent releases. They don't have a bathroom. And you'll be hard pressed to find a bathroom anywhere in Yellow Springs. So make sure you go first. Or at least figure out where the bathrooms are before you go, because we almost had a pee pants moment. So heads up on that one. Yellow Springs, thanks a lot. First up is this Dennis Wheatley Black Magic book, Strange Conflict. Dennis Wheatley was interesting fella. He was part of this occult secret society circles, and once had lunch with Aleister Crowley. I thought that was pretty funny. That's what it says on his Wikipedia. I don't know. Questionable fella. I got a couple of the Maigret books, George Simenon Maigret. I love these little short Dells. Just a little cute looking. Little guy on a bike. And then we got this Inspector Maigret and the Strangled Stripper. It's a Risque Maigret. I don't know who that guy is. It's not Gene Gavin. Gene Gavin to me is the real Maigret. I found this 1964 Ace Sci-Fi of Robert E. Howard's Almanac. It's about a manly man type guy on Earth, I guess, who strangles his boss, and then he's shot into space by a scientist to a world called Almanac. And the world has monsters and beautiful ladies, and he fights and, I'm guessing, has sex with the ladies and fights monsters. And so yeah, this is stories that originally appeared in Weird Tales. I like that artwork they got going on there. Next, I was excited to find this 1960 Ori hit sleaze novel, The Cheaters. It's about a corrupt cop in a bar who lets prostitutes handle their business for a cut of the money. I was at a bar and I saw a female bartender drag a woman out of the the bar bathroom because she was prostituting in there. I guess she wasn't on the take. I guess she needed to read more Ori Hit. See what she was missing out on. And lastly, from Darkstar, my wife found this Coven 13 digest from 1969. Let's take this one out of the bag. Cool cover art there. There's a story by Alan Caillou. I read one of his espionage books. It was pretty good. Pretty gruesome, actually. I believe he was a actor in the UK in the 60s. So I looked into what this Coven 13 was. And it was created by Arthur H. Landis, who was inspired by Weird Tales. And he tried to do something similar to Weird Tales. And I kind of appreciate that it's a little different. He didn't just do a Weird Tales ripoff. And in 1971, it was sold to William L. Crawford, and he restarted the magazine as Witchcraft and Sorcery. It has some illustrations in here. I thought we might check that out. Nothing too mind-blowing, but I love the style, like the simplistic style of illustrations back then. It reminds me of the original D&D, like the player's handbook and stuff. Those type of drawings. There's a really D&D looking one. Oh, that's cool. The witch, voodoo. Let me see if I can find that. Oh, that one. That one really looks very D&D. That's this cute little fellow over here. Magic. I think I heard that the K was added to magic by, I think, Aleister Crowley. So you would be able to tell the difference between magic like rabbit out of a hat versus his magic, his occult magic. So that was cool. It was only $10. They had a couple more. I kind of wish we would have picked them up now. So next up, we went to this kind of crappy used media store that's next to our Trader Joe's, where we get our potatoes, our morning taters. It's called Second and Charles. I thought I heard somewhere that it had something to do with Books and Company, but I don't know. I usually don't find much there, and this time wasn't really any different. But I did grab these two books. First up is The Green Eyes of Bast. It's a non-Fu Manchu Sax Romer book about a psychic detective, which if you watched my last review video, I reviewed a book called The Hand of Seth by Frank Loria, which also had a psychic detective, and I love it. I'm a huge fan of the idea, the occult, detection agency type things. And this one it's sort of similar to that book. It has to do with secrets of ancient Egypt and cats. Loving that cover there. Is that a pyramid? Yeah. Looks great. All right, and we got this hilariously tough-looking cop killer by Tom Philbin. Its main character is a cop named Joe Lawless, who's the commander of the felony squad located in the Bronx. It's the toughest precinct in New York City. And, honestly, this came out in the mid-'80s, so we're talking mid-'80s New York here, and I bet this thing is super grimy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's a faucet, 80s faucet, gold medal. Kind of like a sleazy version of the Ed McBain series, the 87th Precinct. And we made a stop, of course, to Bell Book and Comic. I swear, like, every time I think I've completely, like, got every book out of that place, I go and then I come out with a giant stack of books. So I've really been enjoying the Monarch books that I've read so far, this Monarch publisher. I love how pulpy the art looks and how the stories feel, very pulpish. And yeah, I wanted to see how many I could grab. I happened upon them. They're usually pretty cheap. Monarch was the paperback publishing wing of Charlton Comics, which I also love. And I don't know, I'm just drawn to them. So we got some The Day the Machine Stopped here. Some more apocalyptical stuff. Doomsday Wing, George H. Smith. Like the color palette on this one. Very ominous. Looks like a dusk, like the sky at dusk. The Day the Earth Froze, Gerald Hatch. I like the winter. I like books that take place in the winter, and just the idea of a city frozen over is very cool to me. I like that disaster movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. I forget what it's called now, but it's like hokey, but I don't know. It's a lot of fun. The Running Man, J. Hunter Holly. Obviously not the same Running Man, just a Running Man. This guy's got something going into his brain. But if you look, it's like I just love the cover art here. I don't know what you would call it. Is it like comic book style, maybe? This one made me laugh. The Space Egg. Russ Winterbotham. Got this guy here being attacked by an egg. It's good. It's good stuff. The Green Planet, J. Hunter Holly. Exiled from Earth, 13 refugees find themselves fighting for their lives in a poison paradise. Planet Big Zero, Franklin Hadley. Terrifying tale of war between two worlds. Then, let's see. I picked up my very first Carl Edward Wagner. This is a collection of stories featuring Cain. He is like a warrior in the vein of Conan, obviously. It even has a Frank Frazetta cover. Fucking bags. It's only $2. Seen some jackass on Amazon selling this thing for like $35. Let's just take a zoom in here of that cover. Appreciate that. Very 70s. I got this, the US version of Who Fears the Devil by Manly Wade Wellman. I got the UK version. I think it was either last haul or the one before. It's hard for me to pass up these Silver John books, so I think it's worth it to have the double. If you don't know, Silver John, the main character, he's a balladeer. Travels around with his guitar, singing songs through the hills and the mountains. Appalachian, sort of Appalachian flavored. He's fighting demonic monsters, otherworldly creatures. It's very folkish. It's kind of like if Woody Guthrie was fighting monsters instead of fascism. It's also pretty hilarious how buff this Silver John is. So he's not only walking from town to town, it looks like he's putting in a couple hours in the gym also. And lastly, from Bill Book and Comic, I picked up The Monster from Earth's End by Murray Leinster, solely on the recommendation from the excellent Paperback Warrior blog. I'm a huge fan of. Those guys are wonderful, very knowledgeable. They say it's sort of like in the same world as Who Goes There by John W. Campbell, or the movie that it was that they based off of that story, which is obviously John Carpenter's The Thing. So it's kind of similar to that, and yeah, they sold me on it. So the final bookstore of this haul is Half Price Books. Not 1 month goes by that we don't stop in there. They always have something new. We actually went there twice this month. The first was on Valentine's, after we had a lovely evening of pho. What the Pho restaurant. So yeah, Half Price Books was like closing in 10 minutes. So I just grabbed some books, and upon reflection later on, I'm like, if I had more time, I probably wouldn't have got some of these, but I'm not going to walk out with nothing, Who are we kidding? So let's see. First up, let's move those over a little bit. First up, I just read an adult Western called Fox. And it was kind of lame. Recording, I have the review recorded already. I just got to put it together. But I was like kind of in the mood for more Western, and I love Native American stuff. So I was like, why not mix both? So it's called Wendigo Mountain. And if you don't know, a Wendigo is a mythological creature that eats human flesh. And so I was really hoping that one's going to be in this story somewhere. I don't think so. But I still hope. There's still hope. Maybe Wendigo Mountain. I got this amazing looking Super Cop Joe Blaze, Thrill Killers by Robert Novak. But it is actually written by Lynn Levinson. I love the guy here on the cover who has that dried out by saltwater face, a la Jack Palance. Nurses were being brutally raped, then carved to ribbons by a pair of killers looking for kicks. So, seems to be pretty hardcore. So a rare sighting these days is an 80s horror paperback. This one looks to be amazing. Almost Human by James V. Smith Jr. It's about a woman who is kidnapped by a terrorist group who intends to mate her with genetically spawned cannibalistic creatures. Man, I really hope that it lives up to that synopsis. I love the raised cover here. You can see it in the glare. I don't know. I have these other books that are mentioned here, Beastmaker and Beastalker, but I haven't got to them yet. Horror books are always kind of daunting because they're so fat. They're just so much filler. They just fill them up with useless paragraphs of description. Oh, so let's see. Oh, so I found these Fu Manchu pyramid books, Sax Rohmer. I always see Fu Manchu books out, but I love these pyramid covers. This era, I believe it's from the 60s. Kind of almost Scooby-Doo-ish, It is from 64. So 1964. Doesn't that look like a Scooby-Doo episode? Should have looked up who the artist was before I recorded this. There's another one. The Island of Fu Manchu. Not Dr. Moreau. Very similar. Got a snake handling lady. I tried to watch those some of those old movies, and I just was not into it. I don't know. Let's see. So up next, we got this 1957 Mike Shayne book, Murder and the Married Virgin. I really enjoyed the Mike Shayne video that Mystery and Mayhem uploaded, showcasing some of the series. Really enjoying everything that he's been posting on that channel. If you haven't checked it out, I would go check it out. If you like vintage paperbacks and stuff. So yeah, I have a few of the 60s versions of the Mike Shayne with the little drawing and like the beautiful painted covers. But I couldn't pass up this old Dell Mapback version. It was only $5. It's another of the Mapbacks. I know I say it every time, but I got to make a t-shirt of that. The eyeball pyramid. Hi, Paquita. Hi. So we got Eric Ambler, Epitaph for a Spy. It's the UK Coronet version. I have the American version, and it has a really lame cover. I like this cover a lot better. Not that it's anything that great, but that should just go to tell you how lame the other cover is. Grab this UK Colin Forbes Target 5. Looks to be like a Alistair MacLean type novel. Once again, I got that winter setting. Arctic ice fields. Americans, Russians, yep. Life and Death Game. And finally, The California Coven Project, a novel by Bob Stickgold. Love this cover here with these frogs and these witches. I think it's like a witch hunt book that takes place in the 90s or the 80s or whenever the book was written. I have another book by Bob Stickgold called Glory Hits. It's about these scientists that like do LSD, and on the cover is a snake. You know what? I'm just going to grab it. Hold on. Okay, so here is the Glory Hits, the other one I have. And I don't know why this book sticks with me so much. I have a horrible, horrible memory. And if someone was like, oh, you like paperback books, like name 5 that you have at your house, and I have like 1,000, and I probably would have a hard time coming up with anything because I like freeze in moments like that. But one of the ones I would remember would be this Glory Hits for some reason. It's just the cover and the LSD plot. I don't know, just hilarious. So when I seen the California Project, I was like, oh, that's that Glory Hits guy. I still haven't read this though. I need to get on that. Equally fun, the little frogs. Not equally fun. I mean, how can you compete with this? But very cool. So that is our haul for February. Thanks for watching. There'll be more cool books next month, which I will post probably in the middle of the month, late again. And that's it.